There is a red can on the wall and most people walk past it every day without a second look. Inside that can is a held breath, stored pressure, waiting for one bad moment. When a fire starts, you have seconds before it owns the room. This little cylinder can end it. If you know what is happening inside, today we cut it open. First, understand what fire actually is. Fire needs three things every time: fuel, something to burn; heat, enough to keep the fuel breaking down; and oxygen, the air feeding the reaction. Picture a triangle with one ingredient on each side. Remove any one side and the triangle collapses. The flame dies. Every extinguisher ever made works on this one rule. It does not fight fire with force, it just steals one of the three things fire cannot live without. Now slice the can open. The shell is steel, rolled and welded to hold serious pressure without a bulge. Most of the space inside is filled with the agent, often a fine yellow powder, ground softer than flour. Above the powder sits a cushion of gas. A narrow tube runs from the valve at the top all the way down to the bottom of the tank. 3 parts: powder, pressure, and a straw. That is almost the whole machine. That cushion of gas is the engine. The factory pumps in dry nitrogen until the tank holds roughly 195 pounds per square inch, about 13 times the pressure of the air around you. The nitrogen does nothing but push. Year after year, it leans on the powder, waiting. The little gauge on the neck reads that pressure. Needle in the green, the spring is still loaded. Needle at 0, and the can is just a can. Look at the handle, 2 levers, one above the other, and a metal pin threaded through both. That pin is a lock. It stops the levers from closing if the extinguisher is bumped, dropped, or grabbed in a panic. A thin plastic seal loops through the pin, not for strength, but for honesty. If the seal is broken, someone has pulled the pin before. Pull it now, and the only thing left between you and the pressure is a squeeze. Squeeze the top lever, and it pivots down like a seesaw, pressing on a spring-loaded stem inside the valve. That stem has been sealing the tank shut for years, held up by its spring and the pressure itself. Push it down a few millimeters, and a small port opens. That is the entire trigger. No electronics, no motor. Just a lever, a spring, and a hole that is suddenly allowed to exist. Let go, and the spring snaps it shut again. The moment the valve opens, the nitrogen finally gets to move. It shoves down on the powder, and the powder has exactly one way out. The siphon tube, that straw reaching to the bottom of the tank. Powder races up the tube, through the valve, and into the hose. This is why you hold an extinguisher upright, tip it over, and the tube sucks gas instead of agent. The can hisses itself empty while the fire keeps eating. At the end of the hose, the nozzle squeezes everything through a narrow throat. Pressure becomes speed. The powder bursts out as a wide, blinding cloud, and that shape matters. A fire is not a point. It is a surface, a spreading sheet of reaction. The cloud blankets the whole base of the flames at once. A full-size extinguisher empties in about 10 to 20 seconds. Every one of those seconds has to land where the burning actually happens. Now the quiet trick. The yellow powder is usually monoammonium phosphate. When it hits flame, it does 2 jobs. The heat melts it into a sticky glaze that coats the fuel, sealing oxygen out like shrink wrap. And at the molecular level, the powder grabs the free radicals, the frantic, half-broken molecules that keep a flame chain reacting. No radicals, no chain. The fire does not get smothered so much as interrupted, mid-sentence. Not every extinguisher uses powder. The ones with a big black horn hold liquid carbon dioxide, squeezed under more than 800 pounds per square inch. Open the valve and it flashes into gas, expanding hundreds of times over and dropping to nearly -78 degrees Celsius. The heavy gas pours over the fire and shoves the oxygen aside. It steals 2 sides of the triangle at once, air and heat, and leaves no residue behind. That is why server rooms love it. The letters on the label matter. Class A is ordinary stuff, wood, paper, cloth. Class B is burning liquid, like grease or gasoline. Class C means electricity is involved. Match the letter to the fire because the wrong agent can make things worse. Spray water on a grease fire and the water sinks, flashes to steam, and hurls burning oil across the kitchen. The ABC powder extinguisher earns its name by handling all three. Read the label before you ever need it. Firefighters teach 4 moves, spelled PASS. Pull the pin, aim low at the base of the fire, the fuel, not the flames. Flames are just the glow above the real problem. Squeeze the lever with a steady grip. Sweep the nozzle side to side, painting the powder across the whole burning surface. Stand back about 2 to 3 meters and always keep an exit behind you. If the fire is taller than you are, stop, leave. That can has limits. Run the whole chain one more time. A fire stands on 3 legs: fuel, heat, and oxygen. The steel tank holds powder under a cushion of nitrogen with a gauge keeping watch. Pull the pin to unlock the levers, squeeze, and the valve stem opens. Nitrogen pushes the powder up the siphon tube, out the nozzle, into a cloud. The powder glazes the fuel and breaks the flame's chain reaction. One side of the triangle disappears, and the fire simply cannot stand. So the next time you pass that red can on the wall, give it a nod. It is a held breath, a loaded spring, a triangle breaker, quietly ready for the worst 10 seconds of someone's day. Check the needle, know where it hangs. If this opened something up for you, subscribe. Next time on the Cutaway, we slice open another everyday machine and watch it think.